Hi, I'm Doug Bevier, President of MSCI, and with me is Chris Kuhlman, President-elect. Today we will be clarifying the various events being offered at the Mackinac Spring Tournament at the Grand Hotel, May 18th through the 20th. So to begin, what events will be offered at the Spring Conference this year, Chris?
Okay, good question. We're going to be offering 9 different speech activities for students to compete in this year, including public forum debate, poetry slam, after-dinner speaking, duo pocket sales, impromptu movie quotes, storytelling, dramatic interpretation character study, program oral interpretation, POI, and many multiple Oscar-nominated films. So why don't we go ahead and delve into each of these and clarify what they entail.
Excellent.
Good.
Well, as everyone knows, public forum debate is a debate event we've offered the past couple of years at the Spring Conference, and it will be offered again this year. Chris, can you give us a brief description of what that is?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Public forum is a team style of debate in which 2 teams consisting of 2 members will argue from either a pro or a con position depending on a coin flip, and they will address a nationally prescribed resolution. Each member actively participates within the debate, taking turns debating the topic. Arguments are presented in an engaging manner. We have cross-examination that takes place between the 2 teams. And successful public forum debaters must make persuasive and logical arguments in a manner that is accessible to a wide variety of audiences, because judges could be actual debate coaches or they could be anybody off the street.
Can you give me an example of what a resolution might be?
Yeah, the resolution for the state tournament this previous year was resolved. The United States should require universal background checks for all gun sales and transfer of ownership.
All right, that makes total sense.
Good.
Perfect. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the events we have offered for the forensics competition. Some of these look familiar with a little twist, but others might be brand new. Can we start explaining program oral interpretation, otherwise known as POI? I'm assuming this is nothing to do with popular Hawaiian dish.
Yeah, no, you'd be correct, although poi is delicious if you've ever had it. Poi is actually a performance created around a central theme that uses selections from prose, poetry, and drama. It's designed to test a performer's ability to intersplice multiple types of literature into a single cohesive performance.
So if I wanted to put together a piece addressing the challenges of hair loss, say,
Yes.
I would fuse together various pieces of prose, poetry, and drama that address the crushing hardships of dealing with that theme?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that would be a masterpiece. It's kind of like multiple, where you can select from different pieces to create a multiple performance. Same thing, except that this is an individual interpretation, thus poi.
Nice. So let's move on to duo pocket sales.
Yeah.
What do you
I
doing
want
right
to
now, Chris?
actually show you a little bit about that. Duo pocket sales is very much like all the MIFA events, except that sales and duo fuse together to create the pocket sales. And the idea is that all visual aids and everything you use is in your pocket. So let's say that I wanted to sell you a can koozie. I would need to pull all of my visual aids out of the pockets that are actually on my person. So if I were to sell you, say, this Yeti can koozie, I can only use those pockets that I have on my body. And that is the way that it rolls. All other MIF rules apply. You just have to make sure that you're using the pockets that you're wearing, you and your partner.
I love those Yetis, man. I love them.
These are great.
So I'm gonna think like a kid for a second.
Okay.
No backpacks?
No backpacks, no purses, nothing other than what you have on your person. So you can wear a sport coat, you can wear cargo pants, whatever you want. Pockets have to be on the clothes that you and your partner are wearing. That is it.
So if I have a trench coat?
You have a trench coat.
Good enough. Works
Lots
for
of
me.
pockets. It's
I get
great.
it, I get it.
No problem.
Next event is we had a couple years ago is DI character study.
Okay.
Does this simply mean that the performance of a singular character for a dramatic interpretation?
Yes.
So this could be a monologue or a splicing of dialogue that is presented by one character?
That's affirmative, yeah.
No other characters?
No, correct.
Only one voice?
Yes, only one voice, indeed.
Even if it has another performer playing multiple roles?
You got it. Yeah.
Sounds simple enough. That's all I need for an explanation.
Good.
So what would you like to address next?
Why don't we go to after dinner speaking? That's something that we've actually had at Mackinac for a couple years, and it's something that I think a lot of people like. After dinner speaking, or ADS, is speeches that are original, that utilize humor in order to inform, persuade, and entertain an audience on a given topic that you like to address.
Right, and this doesn't actually occur after dinner.
No, it can technically occur, after breakfast or lunch or dinner. It doesn't really matter.
Interesting. So why isn't it called like after meal speaking?
I won't answer that. Why don't we, if it's okay with you, we'll move on to something else I think a lot of people have some questions on.
That's fine.
Impromptu movie quotes, okay?
All right, what can you tell us about the adaptation of this event?
Okay, good. The adaptation of this event, it's a little misleading because it says movie quotes. Might suggest it can be any movie quotes that exists out there, right?
Right.
That's not necessarily the case. We are going to have a specific collection of movies that students will interpret quotes from, namely full-length Disney Pixar films.
Okay.
These include all 19 Disney Pixar films.
19 of them.
19 Disney Pixar films, starting with the original, which is Toy Story.
Love that movie.
And going up to, yeah, it's very good, the most recent, which is Coco, which was released last November.
We haven't seen Coco yet, but we hope to soon.
It's-
So cool.
it's good.
Are you telling me films like Brave, Inside Out, The
Mm-hmm.
Incredibles, Monsters, Inc. are all fair game?
Yep, those are all fair game. They're Disney Pixar films.
But not movies like Frozen, Moana, Zootopia, or Big Hero 6?
Yeah, you know your Disney movies. That's impressive. Yeah, no, those wouldn't, because those are actually Disney films. The other are Disney Pixar. So
I
a
see.
list of the 19 Disney Pixar films can easily be found through a quick Google search, along with all the information that you need to know what they are. Along with that, the approach to Impromptu is going to be a little bit different. We're used to, in high school, having one quote that we interpret. We're going to actually run Impromptu similar to the way it runs at the middle school level.
I see.
Competitors will receive a series of 3 different quotes, and only one is going to be chosen to address, the one that the speaker likes the best. Speeches should address the quote intellectually by evaluating the meaning of the quote within the context of the film, and then analyzing and evaluating its larger significance. So that's going to be the approach to the actual event. Now, because Impromptu is such a popular event,
Very
this
much
year
so.
it's a 9-10 event, so
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of people involved in it. We are actually limiting the amount of competitors for this event to only 3 competitors per school.
I think that bears repeating. 3 competitors per school.
That's right. Three competitors per school, not 4. 3 competitors per school, in order to make sure that we have the opportunity to keep it capped and make sure that this is a strong event.
Well, it sounds like a really exciting new event. So
Very much looking
I
forward
just
to
want
it.
to remind you that the first rule of leadership is everything is your fault.
Bug's Life.
Bug's Life.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see what you did there. Nice.
I
Very
can,
good.
yeah. So that is definitely a unique event and a bit of a
Thank
breakdown from the norm.
Yeah.
How about we move on to another event?
Sure.
Can you tell us what's unique about storytelling?
Other than it kind of following the traditional MIFA rules?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
No limitation of subject material? Or you can only perform with one hand?
Nope.
Or you can't use facial expressions?
No, it's just storytelling as usual.
Interesting choice.
Okay,
Interesting
good,
choice. That brings us to our last category, mini multiple.
Yes.
This year it's Oscar-nominated films. Now, this follows the normal rules for mini multiple, but does material need to be a Best Picture nominated film?
No, as the name suggests, it's any Oscar-nominated film from any category can be used for interpretation.
So I could do 1989 Best Picture nominated film, Field of Dreams, but I could also do 1990 Best Costume Design nominated film, Dick Tracy.
Yeah, absolutely. You obviously know your Oscar-nominated films. Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Editing. If it was nominated for an Oscar, you can perform it.
What if the film was rated R?
Well, that's a good question. All interpretations should be rated G. I mean, obviously that applies here for mini multiple, but it should apply to anything that is done up at Mackinac at the Grand. The interpretation needs to be G, but not the source material. So the source material can be rated PG, it can be rated PG-13, it can actually be rated R. Those are all fair game, they just need to be interpreted in a G-rated manner.
Okay, you hear that, judges? It can come from R material, but it needs to be a G performance. That
Absolutely.
makes a lot of sense. That's really good.
Good.
Can I interpret more than one film?
Yes, if you want to do something interesting and put together a couple films, you're more than welcome to do that. The thing is, they have to be nominated for an Academy Award. As long as they are, you absolutely can use them.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Chris, for taking the time to clarify these events with us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It sure seems like it'll be another great year up there in Mackinac in May.
I hope so. I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time. Thank you very much for having me, Doug.
All right.
Appreciate
Have a good
it.
night.
Thank you.